Okay, so it's around -5, maybe -8 with the wind chill. Sun's out for the time being. What a beautiful afternoon to be out snowshoeing. With, of course, my best buds chasing his toy in the snow. And of course, my other best buds who's walking on my snowshoes. Now, the snow is not that deep just yet, okay? As you can see, it's probably 16 inches. That would be a reasonable average, and there's places where it's deeper, where it's drifted. Now today, I am wearing my McKinley commercial grade snowshoes that I bought at the thrift store for about $15. You know what, they got a little mouse chew on them, but outside of that, they were in really good condition. The rubber bindings are pretty cool. They're all rubber, sort of easy to put on, although I wouldn't be in a rush to put them on. And I definitely wouldn't be in a rush to take them off. But as far as snowshoeing goes, from a recreational standpoint, in this depth of snow, yeah, even though it's, fresh snow, it's not on a trail, they do okay for what I want to do. I'm kind of out getting some fresh air and exercise with my dogs, training to do a longer hike with snowshoes on. Because wearing snowshoes is a lot like a gym workout. It's totally different muscles when you got these big rabbit feet things strapped to your feet and you're picking up heavy boots, snowshoes, extra snow, that sort of thing. Yeah, it's something you have to work your way into if you're going to do any real distance. Now, these are not really big enough for me to carry much of a load, so I'm basically bare today, no pack, no nothing. And they definitely don't have the lift that a larger snowshoe would for deeper snow. But I think for around here this time of year, it's probably going to be a good go. In any case, on with the march. So here's a close-up look of taking these bindings off. You can see they're straight rubber. Pull them, they got holes. There's a little tit there that it hooks on. Same up here. Just get it from the retainer, pull it tighter, pull it off. Same with this one, get it from the retainer, pull it tighter, lift it off, and basically it's undone. It's that simple. Now, I'm not sure I would use them at -65 in the Arctic, but in this part of the world, it seems like a pretty good rig. Far cry from my military standard ones, which have much easier to do buckles, the Canadian ones, that is. Okay, here we go. I'm back from my once around the horse paddock training on snowshoes with my canine friends, and I just thought I'd clarify a few things here. So this pair of snowshoes right here is Canadian Army surplus snowshoes, military, with the standard Canadian Army issue webbing. And notice the webbing is actually made out of like a lampwick material. Now, I've got a lot of miles under my butt with those on in my military career. They have an application and they have a purpose. Very, very strong, very reliable, very easy to put on. But you'll find that the bindings don't give you a lot of lateral control. The snowshoes are kind of floppy, but they're easy to get on and easy to get off when you need them, okay, like in a firefight. And then, of course, I have another pair. This is Army surplus, same Canadian Army issue snowshoes, but this is the U.S. military style binding. That's what this is. And it has lateral control straps on it, and it's more of a nylon web. Gives you a little bit more lateral control. Still not too bad for getting in and out of in a hurry. I got a few miles on those since I retired. I've given them a good go around. And then early on, I wanted to try commercial shoes. I bought these ones here, Powder Ridge snowshoes, Crest 30s to play with. I've got a few miles on. They don't have as much lift as, the military ones will have based on surface area, but these work really well in good, hard, crusty, deep snow like the Arctic. Okay, these ones around here probably a little better, give you a little more lift because of the solid panels. I find they're very, very rugged. They weren't overly expensive. They were $100 and some new. The bindings are a little bit fussy to play with. They can get frozen and hard to get off, but not too bad. I got a few miles on them. And then my most recent purchase, the one we just wore around the horse paddock, was this. These are McKinley's. They're called Summit 30s. That's that all rubber binding. You know what? I picked these up at a thrift store for $15. And this one had a little bit of mouse chew on it. If you can see it right there, I've cleaned it up a little bit with a pocket knife. It's not, structural damage of any kind. They're overall still in pretty good shape. And that's the ones I've been working on so that my Niner Zulu hiking companion could work with these on. Contemplating, training for and committing to a fairly long snowshoe hike, which, it's mid-December. The snow's not real deep here yet. Could get real deep in a hurry though. Today's temperature was right around -5 plus the wind chill. I don't expect to see any extreme cold anytime soon, but we'll see. I haven't decided how far, but if you saw the last video where we did 12.5 kilometers before the snow got here and waded the swamp, you know what? The snowshoes, a long hike somewhere in places where it's not trails, not packed snow. Combine it with some navigation skills. Maybe that's an adventure Niner Zulu will commit to. We'll see. That's kind of where that goes. Right? Now you know where my snowshoe stuff is at.